What's going on, you guys? AJ here with AJ Tucker Self Defense, and today I want to talk about a story out of Houston. Sarah Bean, she was charged for allegedly putting her son in the trunk. What is this? I got a visitor over here. All right, we'll still keep it running. So, she was. Look at this, man. This ain't gonna work. You got to get your tail out the camera, bro. All right, there we go. So her son had COVID, and I guess she was taking him up to get another test, but she didn't want to be exposed to it, so she put him in the trunk. And she took him to the COVID site where you can get the COVID test. And I guess they was like, hey, who's getting tested? She was like, my son. She opens the back of the trunk, and they see it, and they're like, oh, heck no, hell to the no. And so they was like, look, if y'all want me to test him, then you're going to have to put him back into the car. He can't ride in the trunk like this. Now, I want to say a couple of things about this. So, thing number one, I do believe the officials or the employees or whoever, they did the right thing. I don't think that she should have put him in the trunk. That's pretty dangerous. Now, the thing is, though, I think too much of a big deal is being made out of it. I don't think she should have been taken to jail or anything like that. And the news, I was looking up news stories and I saw this one and it grabbed my attention. But a few weeks ago, I was pretty much bamboozled by a story that where the news, like the line was a little catchy, and they kind of exaggerated it a little bit. And it was about the real estate agent in Miami who was a serial killer. And the thing is, though, he's only had like 2 sales in the last 5 years. So does that make him a real estate agent? What is he really? And so this one, when I looked at this story, I'm like, you know what? Let me look at something. I'm gonna read something out to you, because before I do, here's what I think. This lady is a teacher. She's 41 years old, exact same age as me. Like no prior history of criminal activity or child abuse or anything like that, right? And with her being a teacher, I can tell you right now, there is an insane amount of pressure on teachers, and there's absolute craziness going on, man. They're having a hard time getting subs, and I can't even imagine being a teacher right now. I do talk to some, I got 4 kiddos in school right now. And so what they have to do, what they have to go through, what they have to do, man, it's a lot. It was already a lot, but with this COVID stuff, it added to it, right? Now also there's this great divide, whenever we talk about COVID, the beliefs are pushing us one way or the other. And a lot of people are doing things that they normally wouldn't do. And the funny thing is, like, right now she went to jail, all this trouble, she got fined and all that stuff, right? If she was in another state, she probably would have been labeled a hero. If she was in California, it was like, oh, wow, mother uses ingenuity and puts her son in trunk so she wouldn't catch COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can understand where she was coming from. I don't agree with her putting him in the trunk, and in my opinion, and it's easy for me to sit here and say stuff after the fact. If he had COVID, I know they don't have home tests, but get him a home test. If you're that afraid of catching it, then don't get in the car with him. Simple as that. You don't have to put him in the back of your trunk. Don't put him in your trunk like that. And it just leaves you open for all sorts of stuff. And it's not safe. What if like you get rear-ended? What if you get into an accident? It's not worth it. It's easier just to, put him in his room. And if there's an online option at school, he's 13 years old. He's old enough probably to stay at the house. And if there's an online option at school, now here's the thing, I don't know if he's special needs or anything like that, but let's say he's a regular kid, he has COVID, you just out, wait a couple of weeks and then get the test whenever you can, but don't stuff him in the trunk, you know what I'm saying? Now on the flip side, all this stuff about her, like having felony charges over this, I do disagree with it. And her school disagrees with it as well. There's a lot of students speaking up for her in support. Sounds like she's a good person, a great teacher and all that good stuff. And I just think that, she needs to have a little bit of grace. Now, if somebody sees this, I'm not a big channel whatsoever, right? But if somebody sees this, please don't do this. Don't come at me with, well, what about so-and-so in Louisiana? She should have got some grace. She needs to go to jail. Or what about this person here? I can't do a video on everybody. I can't do a video on everybody. So don't post that on here, man. Like other examples, because I don't know about it. And I'm not gonna, if you post about somebody, I'm not gonna sit there, unless it pertains to self-defense, I'm not gonna like look at the story and then make a video about that. You know, I make the videos I want to make when I want to make them and about what I want to make them about, right? And this happened in Texas, so it's pretty much down the street from me, and I just happened to see it, and I wanted to talk about it. But it's these times that we live in, man. It's where it's just a lot of pressure, and it's crazy on everybody. You know, it's driving people to more violence. You know, and I would be more. I'm more worried about, like, the reason why I disagree with her putting him in the trunk, because I'm more worried about something stupid happening to the kid, or what if the kid is claustrophobic. You know, that's more traumatizing than COVID. If there's no like crazy symptoms, he can just chill out for a couple of weeks. But in her defense, she was trying to do the right thing. She was trying to, you know, see if he was good to go. I have no idea what their arrangement was at the house. Maybe he was like isolated in his room, and she wasn't letting him go anywhere, and she felt bad about it. And so she was like, you know what, let's go ahead and test. How am I going to get you there? Because I don't want to get it, because I don't want to give it to my kids when I go to school. So, hey, how about you get in the trunk? Because shoot, if you live in the country, you got people riding in the back of the truck all the time. So it's like, I'm going to put you in the trunk. But I don't like too much what the news is doing about it. I'm grabbing my laptop here, and I'm just going to read out a couple of headlines to you, the way they worded this, right? So they didn't say anything about, you know, like, hey, she was probably just trying to do X, Y, and Z. It's just teacher bonds out of jail after allegedly putting COVID positive son in trunk. Let's see. Texas mom charged with child endangerment after allegedly putting son in trunk after catching COVID. I don't see it right now, but I saw one where it says mom stuffs son in the trunk. Made it sound like she did it, like she just pushed him in there against his will. He's 13 years old, man. He's bigger than her, but it made it sound like he was like 6 or 7. Let's see here. Mom bonds out of jail after being accused of putting son in the trunk because he had COVID. Texas mom locks COVID positive son in trunk to avoid exposure. So that didn't even, the headline didn't even say anything about, you know, she's going to take him for tests. It almost made it sound like she put him in the trunk. That's where she's going to quarantine him at. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm going to see if I can get one more, man. Mother charged with child endangerment after COVID positive son put in trunk for isolation. So again, it didn't say like she was trying to transport him somewhere. It didn't explain anything. It just made it sound like, oh, you have COVID. Well, you can't stay in the house. Get your ass in the trunk. That's what it made it sound like. And it's like, and it just, man, the news, they do this a lot. And I guess they got to make money. But I don't like it. You know, I don't like it. And as far as like self-defense goes, when people escape out of a situation, they never talk about it unless there's blood, you know, unless somebody dies, you know. I forgot what, there's a saying, like there's no feed unless they bleed or something like that. I forgot what it was as far as the news goes. But the reason why I do want the news to talk more about situations where somebody escaped without being hurt, because it lets others know, you know, you don't have to do much to get out of a situation sometimes. All you got to do sometimes is scream or just run. Like half the stories, like 80% of the stories I see where somebody escaped an attacker, all they did was scream and run. Now, I don't teach that. Oh, yeah, just scream and run and you'll be good. But even with no like MMA training or self-defense training or anything, people are escaping all the time just from doing those things. But let me circle back to this story. So, yeah, like I said, man, hopefully they give this woman some grace in this situation. But it's just like, it's hard because with the added pressure of COVID, you have good people on all sides and they're being like pitted against each other, you know, where she was trying to do the right thing. I get that. And she goes up to the place, she opens the trunk, she sees nothing wrong. She thinks she's like taking an extra step, going above and beyond. But the other person sees that and they're like, I'm not giving them a test. Now, here, like, I feel, that's a tough one. because like I said, I don't like them riding in the trunk. That's dangerous. But did that person overstep their bounds by saying, hey, I'm not doing anything. I'm going to withhold the test unless you put that person into the back of the door. I don't know. I think there was a right thing, but at the same time, were they overstepping? Like, I don't even have the answer for that. But if you see this video, man, let me know what you think, and I will see you on Thursday.